Welcome back, everybody. My name is Gnome, bringing you yet another Mortal Kombat X tutorial. In today's tutorial, we're going to be covering all of the current stage brutalities as of August 13, 2015. If any more are released in the future, I may do a follow-up video, but that will also be decided whether or not there is a Combat Pack 2. So until then, this will be all of the stage brutalities as of August 13th, 2015. So without any further ado, feel free to pick any character you want, and if you would like to see a specific stage brutality, feel free to hop on down to the description below. I'll see you there. Alright guys, so first up we have what I call the log toss. Now this takes place in the Dead Woods. Now simply enough, all we're going to need to do is interact with at least 2 stage interactables and then finish our opponent with the log. So, first up, here we go. There's 1 stage interaction. Let's go ahead and push him along. I believe there's a second one over here. There's this log right here on the floor. And there's 2. Very simple, very easy. And of course, as usual, you want to make sure you are able to finish your opponent with said stage item. So, we have interacted with 2 items now. Simply enough, we're going to pick up this log here and hold forward while you are doing this. Again, interact with 2 stage objects and finish your opponent with this log right here, holding forward. Let's go for it. And there we have it, my friends. Simple enough. Very easy brutality, and very good because of this extra little detail right there. That dripping blood makes it fantastic. I love it. The detail really makes these brutalities amazing, and there's plenty of it in this one. There we have it, my friends. On to our next one. Alright guys, here we are with our next brutality, the corpse toss. Now this takes place on the Kove stage, and in order to do this one specifically, you're going to need to interact with at least 2 stage interactions. So here we go. There's a barrel. Let's go ahead and move our opponent away real quick, and we'll jump off the side of this ship. Simple enough. And our opponent is obviously more than well low enough. So now the only thing to do is we need to wait for a body to appear out of the water somewhere between these 3 areas here, and grab it and chuck it at our opponent. This can take time, sometimes practice. It's a little bit tough to really get this to work on command because, again, you only have the randomness of how these bodies appear to really help you with this brutality. Hence why I'm waiting, so I apologize for that. But maybe I'll skip ahead real quick just to show you what this should look like if you get it correctly. There we have it. Didn't even need to skip ahead. There we have it, my friends. So again, one last time, interact with at least 2 stage brutalities, and then chuck the corpse that pops out of the water at your opponent. It's that simple, that easy. We'll see you on the next brutality. Alright guys, so here we go with our next brutality, the Uppercut. Now in order to perform this brutality, you're again going to want to be on the Kove stage, but there are rather no real things you have to do before performing this brutality other than meeting the criteria as you go to perform it. And the way we're going to do this is finish off our opponent with an uppercut, which is very classic. Everyone knows to do an uppercut. Simply crouch and hit either Y on the Xbox or triangle on the PlayStation. And there we have it. There's an uppercut. Now what's key to doing this properly is you want to make sure you finish your opponent with that uppercut. However, you also have to be holding the stance change button. Now not everyone uses this, so they might not know what it is, but the stance change is the button that makes your character, of course, switch stances, like so. Now that is usually either L2 on the PlayStation or left trigger on the Xbox, and there we have it. So again, hold the stance button and finish your opponent with an uppercut. So here we go, and there we have it, my friends. And we get the wonderful little extra as he pops up there from the water, looking like the rest of the corpses that have fallen into this sorrowful ocean. There we have it, my friends. On to our next brutality. Alright guys, so here we are with our second brutality, or our next brutality rather, not second, but this is called the Headbanger, and you're going to want to be on the Kuatan jungle stage. Now in order to do this, you simply need to interact with these 2 stage interactables, so let's go ahead and do that. There's 1, simple enough, and there we go, there's 2 over here. And there we have it. Alright, and finally, you're going to want to get your opponent somewhere in the relative area of this statue right here, and simply finish him with it. Let's go for it. And there we have it, my friends, a nice brutal head smash up against the column. And that's all there is to it. Again, interact with 2 stage interactables, and then finish your opponent with the column. Smash their head into it. There you have it, my friends. On to our next one. Alright guys, welcome back to our next brutality. This one takes place at the Kuai temple stage, and simply enough, you're going to want to finish off your opponent by grabbing one of these 2 flames you'll see here in this guy's hands. Grab them and hold forward while you're throwing it, and you also need to have your opponent at about jump distance for this to work properly. So, there we have it, my friends. Let's go ahead and do it. And again, hold forward when throwing this flame. There we have it, my friends. This one works a lot. I really like this Brutality, mainly just because of how it explodes the chest cavity outwards and leaves the rest of the body. It's really cool. It's very nice. Great detail, and I like it a lot. On to our next Brutality, my friends. Alright guys, so here we are with our next Brutality. This one takes place at the Outworld Marketplace. Now in order to perform this, you need to interact with at least 2 stage interactions, of course, so let's go ahead and do that. Here's one over here, and let's move our opponent to the left a little. We're going to ignore Blanche for now because she is important to doing this Brutality. This tiger, however, or whatever you want to call the animal. And there's 2. So, now that we have 2 stage interactions, our opponent is low enough. What we're going to do, actually I'm going to move to the left so you can see this Brutality better. We are going to grab Blanche. Now, you can get 2 results when you go for this. What we're going to do first for this one is hold forward when throwing Blanche. So again, interact with 2 stage interactables and finish your opponent by throwing Blanche and holding forward. Let's go for it. And there we have it, my friends. That is one hell of an old lady. She just combusted their bodies, and there we have it. On to our next one. Okay guys, here we are yet again at the Outworld Marketplace, and we're going to be performing the exact same criteria that we just did to perform the Brutality before this. Again, interact with at least 2 stage interactions. Here we go. There's 1. Let's go ahead and push our opponent over to the left because we need Blanche, so we're not going to be using her right now. And here, this tiger should be 2. Simple enough. And last but not least, again, Blanche is very key to doing this. We're going to throw her again, just like we did in the last Brutality, but this time hold down to get a completely different result. Let's go for it. Woo! This is a fantastic Brutality. I believe this was added as a fan favorite, my apologies, because everyone seems to love Blanche and the fact that there just is an old woman you can toss around at the old Outworld Marketplace, but after being tossed around for so long, it's not a surprise that she wanted to come back and get some vengeance on the many opponents that have tossed her around so many times. So there we have it, my friends. On to our next Brutality. Alright guys, here we are with our final stage Brutality for today. This one is insanely easy. It is at the Quan Fortress, and I almost feel silly doing a tutorial for it just because it is that easy, but we might as well cover all the bases while we are here. So, simply enough, again, be at Quan Fortress, and you simply have to finish your opponent with the hammer over here to the right. There is no criteria, as far as I'm aware. Simply finish your opponent with the hammer. Let's go for it. And there we have it. Again, I did nothing beforehand other than beat up my opponent, and I did throw 1 object, but I did not interact with more than 2 objects in the stage, other than the hammer. So, there's no criteria for this other than finishing your opponent with the hammer itself. It's a very easy Brutality, but it looks nice. It's nothing too special, but it is nice, and it's always great to have more Brutalities in the long run. So there we have it, my friends. This has been all of the Mortal Kombat Stage Brutalities as far as I can tell as of August 13th, 2015. If any more are released again in the future, I may cover them in another video if a Combat Pack 2 comes out, but again, that is to be decided. And there we have it. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. I really hope it did. If it did indeed help you out, feel free to leave me a like or a comment down below. If this video does help you out in either way, if you did enjoy this video in general, feel free to subscribe because I promise you there's plenty more coming. And without any further ado, thank you all very much for joining me for this episode, and we'll see you next time, guys. Stay safe, stay happy.